Good morning and welcome to Suburban Jessup. Hope everything's well with you. This is going to be another one of those impromptu videos. It's getting close to Valentine's Day and I'm making a lot of roses. I've been making quite a few of the dogwood flowers, blossoms. So I'm out of my stems. So I've got to make more stems, and I thought, well, while I was at it, I'd show you the jig that I use to make the stems. Okay? So this is the jig. Let me get a close-up of it here. Okay, so here's our jig, and here's all our parts and pieces to explain it to you. So first of all, let's start with the jig. The jig is just a piece of 1/2 inch by probably 2 inch flat bar. It's got holes drilled in it, 1/4 inch holes. On this end down here we've got 3 washers stacked up, lined up with a hole. And tacked on there. And what that does is that gives us at least 2 different heights as a gauge, and that's what we primarily use this for. Because what this is for is it's close to Valentine's Day, and I'm in the process of making quite a few roses. I've made quite a few dogwoods the last week and a half, 2 weeks, and so I'm out of stems. And when I make my stems, basically what I do is my stems are a 5/16 nut slipped over a 1/4 inch rod and welded on the back side, which gives you kind of a bud, if you can see it, gives you kind of a bud. And then you leave enough room so that you got enough room for your patterns, for your leaves, and then you got enough room for your to rivet that over to hold your leaves on. So that's basically how I make the stems on most of my flowers, and I also use this for my sleigh bells with the rings on them. So I use this quite a bit. Now the roses, here's the rose patterns. The rose patterns are actually 5 pieces stacked on each other of 16 gauge. So basically it takes me, I found a good length is about 3/4 of an inch from the hip on this bud, of this nut, to the end to give me enough room for my 5 pieces and to give me a good rivet. So 3/4. So if you add the thickness of the washers, which is 1/4 inch plus a 1/2 inch for the flat stock, that gives me 3/4 right here. So all I have to do is set my nut right there, put my stem in there, and weld around it. And then all I got to do is pull it out and put the next one in. And I can do it fairly quick. I don't have to keep measuring. Now, what makes this nice is when you've got both holes, is I can go ahead and I can cut 4-inch length pieces, which is the length that I need roughly for my dogwood blossoms. And here's one of my dogwood blossoms, and it, if you can see it, I've removed one of the petals so that you can see where we've riveted that over, and I'll get you a better close-up here in just a minute of that. This is just a real quick shot of the dogwood blossom and how it's riveted over. But this is what I use, roughly 4 inches, maybe a little longer, for the dogwoods. And I also use this length for the sleigh bells. And then I use a 10-inch length for my roses, for the stem on my roses. But the dogwoods are 10 gauge, as you can see, and they're only 1 piece. Okay, so they're not near as thick as the roses. So rather than weld them all on at 3/4 and have to cut each one off, I found that 1/2 inch is a pretty good size, a pretty good length, once again, from the nut to the end, so that you got room for your dogwood flower, pattern, petal, blossom, and then it gives you enough room to do your rivet, and that's what this one here is for. So I've got one over here to do my roses, and one over here to do my my dogwoods and my sleigh bells. And I've got extra room so that if I run across another length that I need, I can drill another hole and put whatever spaces I need. Now if you'll notice, down here we have a washer, and all that is so I can hang it, and I hang it at the underneath my welding bench is where I hang it, where it's handy. So I've always got it. So let's clamp that back down. And we'll show you how it works real quick. Won't take very long. All we do, we're going to do a rose first. We just set it up there. Get our welder. Now we can spin it a little bit. Spin it one more time. And then we can just set that down, put another nut on there. We can do it again. Okay, now let's go over here and let's do a couple of them for the sleigh bells and the dogwood blossoms. Same thing. There's one. And there's two of them. Well, that's our video on how I make my flower stems and my sleigh bell and my dogwood blossom stems. Hope you got some use out of it. Like I said, the jig is useful. If you're only going to make one or two, you don't have to. It's not worth the effort. But I spend a lot of time making flowers and dogwood blossoms and sleigh bells. Dogwood blossoms especially. There'll be times that I'll do 75 to 150 dogwood blossoms for a project. So it's worth my time to make this jig so I can just boom, boom, boom. So anyway, that's today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, it occurred to me you might be interested in this, so we stopped what we were doing, set up the camera. We're going to start calling this Dirty Face Videos because, like I said, I'm dirty. I've been working all morning. But you got a video out of it, okay? So that's it from Suburban Jessup. I hope you got some use out of it. You stay safe till the next time we see you, and bye.